So, Friday afternoon, we're at the NEC still with at Worley, and I found myself Dave Watson from Dean Park Station. A lot of people won't know what you look like, so you have to say something so people believe me.
They do
Just
now.
found some anonymous entry.
They do now.
How are you finding the show?
Well, it's my first time down here, Richard. I'm usually confined to going to Model Rail Scotland in Glasgow, which is the second biggest show I think in the country.
Yeah.
But this is another level. The vastness of it really taken me by surprise. Actually, I have heard that it was, Saturday was a busy day, and I tried to equate that to what I thought was a busy day at Model Rail Scotland, and this is just
nuts,
manic.
We're expecting, I think, 14,000 people over the weekend.
I mean, it's four deep on some displays now, so you can't even get into the front to see the locos move. So, I mean, that's good for the hobby. But I'm planning to come back tomorrow and get a bit quiet and do some filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What bits have you, I suppose, looking forward to make you make the? I mean, because it's been a long journey for you, hasn't it?
Yes,
4 hours, 6 hours,
I was
like that?
6 hours down the road last night after my work, and then got in here this morning just before it opened.
Yeah.
The diesel electric layouts are the ones I'll kind of migrate towards, obviously, because that's what I base my Dean Park layout on. And obviously I've been looking around to lots of traders, a lot of the laser cutting traders that I've not seen before, that I can see using on my TMD side of the layout. So it's good trade support, actually. Really been good.
It seems, I suppose, especially with some of the retailers / manufacturers, they're much more accommodating to, I suppose, social media influencers, should I put it like that?
Yeah.
Have you felt that today, or have you?
Well,
I know I mobbed you, but has everyone else mobbed you?
I've been
you anonymous?
Picked out a couple of times by viewers and to say hello, and I went to see it was at the Acura scale.
Yeah, right in the middle.
The guy on the stand there said, "Oh, I know you from your channel," and that's one of the manufacturers. I felt, this is a breath of fresh air. They're releasing the Deltic, a new, totally new model of Deltic, and they're producing dozens of variations in it, even down to the number of windscreen wipers and where the lamp irons are positioned. And I just thought, this guy they're new to the British market. Just a breath of fresh air with his attitude, and if any questions or any comments and suggestions, get in touch with us because we want to get it right.
It's still a real burst at the end of it, kind of thing. Yeah.
And you compare that to some other more established ones that maybe in the past have been more slightly,
shall we point them out?
Slightly more dismissive, shall we say, of the average consumer's desires and comments. So
it's one thing I've noticed. I mean, we've been asked, obviously, by the Worley Club to, in effect, document this event for YouTube in a way to approach a sort of younger market. It's very interesting, the different responses from the manufacturers, and you can probably guess who has been the least helpful versus who has been absolutely accommodating and putting us up, which is very odd, considering it's out there in the public. The feedback from that. But
I tend to find I'll always stop by the Hornby stand.
Are they the ones paying you?
I'm not on any commission, but I'll always stop and I'll have a chat whether I'm at Glasgow, and I've not had a chance to go and see them today yet. I'm going to see Mike Wilde from Hornby magazine because I've not met him, and he's published obviously an article of mine, so I've got a name to a face, as I'm sure he'll do with me as well. But they're quite good at listening, and you always used to get, when you go to the Hornby stand, a form to fill in. What do you want to see? And I was putting Class 87s, HST and Swallow since I started going to exhibitions in 2010, before I even had a layout or a house with a layout, and I was wanting these things, and eventually do listen. And Simon Kohler, when he was there, you got the impression when you were speaking to him, he would actually
going in,
take it on board. It wasn't just bouncing off, and he would take on board comments that you made, for example, the errors in livery or in tooling, and he'd give you an honest answer if he could. And that's what you want, because at the end of the day, without us, they wouldn't be here. And I sometimes feel some of the other ones might start to forget that.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully, we've got a lot of newcomers to the market, and 00 might shake up the establishment a little bit.
Especially, I think, as now there seems to be a re-emergence of the younger generation, especially through social media with yourself and obviously Everard Junction is here.
Yes.
Sam's Trains is somewhere.
Well, Sam's Trains, yes, definitely.
So I mean, I think it's going to be so important for them to start listening if they're not listening.
Yes.
But and maybe produce more modern image for the.
Well, I think that's what we need. I mean, I've been critical of Hornby for being quite steam bias. But on another scale, like, you've got backmen who do give a good range of diesel electric. But who models now of an age group? I don't remember Steam. I still have Steam locos, just like yourself, because of the nostalgia, and you run it on rail tours and stuff on your layout, and there's always a space for a Flying Scotsman or a Mallard or something. But I feel that you're right in saying that to get new blood in, you've got to maybe start focusing on the diesel electric stuff, even down to the old DMUs, you know, which are faceless in some people's opinions, but that's what kids grew up with, and you relate to what you grew up with. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need a Class 91?
I think I've mentioned that on our web. I can't remember if it was me that started it. I think I get a few. I think I get a few replies every day. Who wants a Class 91? I live in hope, Richard. I live in hope. I mean, it's been, I don't know when I set that thread up, a good 4 or 5 years ago. And every year I speak to Hornby, and the reply I get was, it's a bit of an unloved cousin, if you like. But you know, if you can produce a niche locomotive from some of your Steam era, surely you could produce what they class as a niche locomotive in the Class 91.
It wouldn't be too expensive. They only need to make 2, to be fair.
Correct. And okay, you've got your Mark IV rolling stock and your DVT, and there are variations in the rolling stock. But I mean, they went and retooled the Mark I's. The market was probably saturated with them anyway. Yeah. So was that a good business sense, or would they better going for the Mark IV? Now that it's going to other operators after its East Coast mainline finishes, another set of liveries will come along, privatised liveries that will get younger people. That runs past my house.
Yeah.
I'm wanting it.
You want to be into it?
Yeah.
It's amazing, as I've been saying, the amount of people, younger people, who come up to me knowing who I am, and likewise, I'm sure you've had people come up to you who are only in the hobby because of your channel and presence, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's incredibly important to address it.
Well, I think, you know, we're not important. It's the YouTube community is you know, you can find anything on it to do on the railways. If I don't know how to do it, Richard might know how to do it, you might know how to do it, Dave might know how to do it. There's always going to be a video of somebody doing it. And if you don't like their theory or their technique, you can adapt it to suit yourself and your own skills as well. Some people don't have the skills in one area, like some people hate wiring, some people can't do scenics.
Guilty.
So, I mean, I can't do weather, I can't weather a local yet. So when it comes to the stage where I'm doing that, YouTube will be the first port of call for me. You know?
So important nowadays.
It is.
I suppose going to YouTube and obviously your layout, how's it coming on?
Finished the building site, and that'll appear.
Did enjoy that?
It was actually took me a while to come to that. Well, I got the idea for your houses from you, and I managed to eventually find the houses on eBay. Back when I probably re-released them anyway in time. They always seem to do that with their scene craft stuff.
Extra zero.
Possibly. They move the decimal place. So I toyed up ages what I was going to put in that. Factory units. I thought, well, I looked at the back scene one night, and I'd moved the house that I had from where I have the caravan park now across to that area while I was doing the caravan park. I thought, wait a minute, that looks quite good there because there's houses behind it. So I thought, building site. And of course, scale model scenery have been quite good to me with providing the stuff that I needed.
Yeah.
The chain link fencing that I've just finished was the most challenging kit I've ever put together. I filled a few square boxes, but it looks the business.
Justin must be laughing when he knows people are threading that wire through.
I mean, it's all right if you're sitting at the front of your layout and you're standing there doing it, but it was over trusses, you know, you're attic layout, the trusses, and you were trying to overtrack, not damage what you'd already got. I think I'd probably qualify for a third-year surgeon student with the amount of threading and needling that I was doing there. It's really intricate, but it's a cracking kit. But that's finished now. Finished in inverted commas, not that there was something else that I had.
Do you ever finish a layout?
Well, no.
Yes. I would say yes, because you've been it. They get so frustrating.
Well,
I'm not doing that ever again.
I'll go into the TMD section, which is really going to be the second focus of the layout, the station being the main one.
Yeah.
TMD, loosely based on Haymarket, which is what I used to go past every day when I was a student. But emphasise loosely because the space constraints and stuff. But I like depots, so I'm going to try and go to town on that and do a decent job. And that postcrete that I used for my ground cover, which was kind of a mistake for the building site, actually might be used again because it's good ground cover and it takes a painted finish easily as well. It was
And I suppose you've got, what, 20 kilos did you buy
Yeah, I used about
do that much?
200 grams. So I hope it doesn't go off in the garage and go like brick. But it was a good find actually. Good. Try it. Didn't look right. Scrape it up.
Yeah. We could rebag that.
I could have done. Sold it as postcrete. Or I've got a loose fence post in my garden.
The Dean Park's own brand ground scatter.
That's it. I could do that.
I've also been asking.
I'll copyright that.
You should. Sorry, I was going to say, we've also been asking, obviously, you motivate a lot of people into the hobby. Who motivates you?
I fell back into the hobby by mistake. I was in Glasgow and I said to go to Model Rail Scotland back in 2010.
Yeah.
Didn't plan to do it, I was just in Glasgow and I thought, I'll go. And I thought, oh, this has moved on a bit since I stopped doing it as a 14, 15-year-old. So I kind of didn't have a house with an attic. And when we eventually moved into a house, I got the loft ready to go. And it was YouTube. And it was Terry from Glebe Road and Richard Everard, Junction, who that's quite good, that.
Yeah. And I could do better.
And I thought to myself, you know what, I use his weathering technique on my track, same paint shades. Terry from Glebe Road, I've used some of his tips for the scenic. He was good at scenic stuff. I used to really watch his layout a lot. I used his design, if you like, for his head spans in his station, and I adapted it. So instead of using evergreen plastic, I used the brass.
Yeah.
So these were inspirations. I thought, well, you could do head spans, you can make them yourself, you can scratch build, and that's just where I take it from. And then you come up, it seems to be kind of, as the more you look into it, the more channels you find, and
it's endless, isn't it? Just absolutely.
It is. I mean, I've covered some Centrals, another one I watch as well, and yourself. I've got Dave's layout, and Cheeky Tech. All these wee things you come across by viewing somebody's video, they'll get a link to somebody else, and you've found some stuff that is of interest to you, and you nick ideas.
None of us weird that it's taken a sort of very reclusive hobby and made it extremely public almost.
Well, I think that's I mean, YouTube. I said to you earlier, if you go onto YouTube, you can find out how to do anything for a Royal Railway. Whereas years ago, it was your monthly release of the magazine in black and white image, or you joined a Model Rail Club. And for those who don't want to do that, YouTube's your next best bet to get ideas. And we've all got different space available and different, access and abilities, and you've got to adapt it to yourself. And that's what's good about YouTube.
If you could give a top tip to someone starting out new, what would your top tip be?
Plan before you build. I often thought when I started, they talk about planning, and I'm quite good at planning and taking my time, because I don't like doing jobs twice. So if I get it right the first time and not have to do it again, then it's going to save me time and hassle, stress, swearing, and money. And I thought, how could you plan a layout and to get what you want, and the buildings in the right position? And you see some people mocking up full buildings out of card. But some people don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, so I just use, the actual template where the building will sit.
Yeah.
Get a rough idea. The Pico templates that you get for the track. Just plan it, and then think about it. Don't plan it and then do it the next day. I tend to go away and think about it, like the building site. I moved all the way around the layout to this S&T, and that was still bare because I wasn't happy with my first idea.
Yeah.
I thought, there's no point in me building now until and it comes to you, an idea will just boop, and then penny will drop, and you'll think, this is the right one to do. So planning, buy wisely, which is more difficult these days. When I started back in 2012 to collect stuff, a coach was about £20, and when I saw the Mark II Fs released with an estimated price tag of 37, I about choked. I would have bitten your hand off for what they are now, £67, £69 or whatever they are. So plan, know what you're going to do, and I think, and maybe I'm right in saying you're selling off some of your stock.
Oh yeah.
It no longer fits your era. Maybe you think, well, because it's becoming so expensive, maybe narrow the era or the modelling.
Yeah.
I want to model everything, but my money won't let me do that. So maybe be more specific about the era you're modelling was another tip I would give.
So I know with me, I mean, for work I'm a retailer, I understand costs and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So in one point I understand the the sort of corner they're in. However, as a modeler and a customer of these companies, I do have to thin my stock.
Yeah.
And then when it's used, I have to sell it to buy more stock. I can't have mass
limited
collections
space.
like of old. But, so I wonder if that will have an effect. Hopefully.
I mean, I've had to find myself, just for space-wise, well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't fit all my rolling stock and locos on the layout. I mean, it's probably in the storage yard, what you're building. I've got my storage yard at the end, but even so, I've got 40 odd coaches and boxes downstairs, and you've got to decide what you're going to model that month. You know, I'll do BR Blue this month, then maybe next month put some of them away, get some of your sectorisation stuff out. It's just not possible to model everything, and this year, especially with Bachmann bringing out these regional exclusives, it's almost made you almost an addictive spender, because I like that,
Yeah.
and you're actually just buying because they put the word exclusive in front of it. Is there something exclusive about something that's quite mainstream? I don't know. I think it's just maybe a sales thing to push through existing toolings, low cost toolings.
Reinvent them.
37s, 47s, I mean, they must be the most bog standard. You know, they've not released many 20s in regional, or, you know, there's 66, which is now obviously getting superseded by hand. So you just got to, I say you narrow it down, and you say you rotate your stock, and it's hard not to buy on impulse, and then you can sell it later. But you know, I think that's one of my tips, was just make sure you narrow your era down to as much as you can.
Keep it to your budget, I suppose, is the opposite. People, I think, can often want the entire railway catalogue, and obviously it's difficult to buy it all.
Well, nowadays it's quite difficult. I mean, I know Bachmann keep their stock in their catalogue or their range for a good couple of years. So if you don't get your hands on a DBSO this week, you'll get it in 6 months. Whereas Hornby, it's all or nothing now, and it's almost panic buying.
Yeah.
And then, for example, the Mark III standard open in Swallow you can't get one now. There's lots of boofies left because they were incorrect, but they don't produce as much of the right stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I know are disappointed with the availability and the quality of them.
Because you had real trouble with yours.
I had a few that were sent back with flaws, marks, overspray, lack of spray, touching it up, you know, to try and pass it off as acceptable.
Yeah.
If it was £10, £15 a coach, you could probably say, well, you paid your money. But at 30 odd pounds upwards, you're wanting something that's going to look right from the box and not have to be looked over with a magnifying glass.
As a rake, that's a very considered purchase, really.
Well,
it's a lot of money, really.
Yes. Even if you're buying a coach at £30, you're looking at a rake of 8. You know, you're well over £200 plus the locos. That's £500 for an HST set. It's not cheap.
So it's got to be right, really. It's
got to be right, and you expect it to be right, because they only release those certain liveries ever so often. I mean, maybe in another 6 or 7 years they might release another Swallow, and you hope that they get it right with that one, or so you've almost got to panic buy, which is probably one of the downsides to the main manufacturers. They've got the reasons, and they want the stock pushed through.
Yeah.
But I feel that they could keep things in their catalogue for a bit longer. Bachmann manage it. Oxford have shown that they've got stuff. You know, it's not a case of one release, one batch, and that's it. Helgen are the same. So maybe Hornby can look at maybe longer production runs, or more than one production run of the same bit of rolling stock or local.
See, one vibe I'm, I suppose, enjoying at the moment is with the emergence of people like Hatton's going into manufacturing. You've got people like Helgen doing more, Dapple doing loads more, especially O-Gauge, etc. I wonder if that'll drive competition and make those that have once sat on a easy throne, as it were, may have to think twice. And
well, they certainly have to be able to think twice with their pricing structure. I mean, spoke to the Oxford chap there, and how can you produce a detailed coach like that, the Mark IIIA, for under 30 quid, whereas a competitor is releasing the same liveried Mark II coach for nearly £50.
Yeah.
And I think he explained it quite well in the defence of Bachmann. He's only got a dozen people working in Model Rail, Oxford Rail, whereas Bachmann have got a big wage bill. And from his point of view as a sales rep, you can maybe start to see that, why they might charge a bit more for it. But you've got to be watched there that you don't price the average man out the hobby. Because the average man actually would struggle to pay £46 for a coach. I mean, I save like mad to pay for what I get. And
because outside the channel, you've got to work for a living.
Got to.
You don't sit in your loft all the time.
Well, I wish I could, but I might put heating in there if I did. But you've got to watch that you're not, pricing the average Joe and the next generation. I mean, we're young enough, young in inverted commas, but we'll be hopefully around for 20, 30 years, still modelling.
Yeah.
Who's the 30-odd-year-old, 30, 40-year-old coming behind us who's now 10 years old?
Because in effect, we're not the problem, it's the stocking filler that is the problem.
Yes.
You're not going to put a £50 coach in a child's
it's not going to
present list.
If you charged £50 for an all singing, all dancing one, that's probably top end for me towards value for money. But we're getting into the realms of coaches from both manufacturers, big manufacturers, £70, and there's even now wet freight and tankers coming out. £70 odd. I mean, you need a lot of those to form a decent rake, a freight rake. And folk are not going to pay £700 for a decent length rake of tankers, or it's almost taking it back to club, model club level where everyone pitches in and buys one. It's taking it from the individual, the home modeler, as I would call myself. So
I'm hoping they'll put some pressure on that kind of thing. Well, like I said, with that new competition.
Yes.
Because I think they can push the end user with the prices going up as much as possible. I think they ultimately have to look at themselves and say, well, if they can do it for that, we need to be able to do it for that.
Yes.
Like
yes. I mean, I'd say with the new release of the Deltic there.
From Aquascale.
Yes, it looks stunning. And see, all the variations will be modelled.
And they've in effect come out of nowhere as well with that. Same again.
And I mean, I spoke to the chap there and so he recognised from my channel and recognised my voice first.
Did you get one as well? I wish.
I've got my pocket. So I've come away with a good impression. Helpful, open, honest, and I'm going to have one of them. So £159 to them straight away. 259ish DCC.
Oh, channel spoiler. One coming your way. When are they due?
End of 2019. He says he hopes. But
they're producing, just said,
they're producing all 22 of them. And they've got about a dozen to start with in all liveries, even through the Potterbrook purple, straight from the green right the way through. So I'll be having one of them.
Wonderful.
I don't need it, but they look good. And
that's it. You get the right impression, and people add to the collection.
I'll maybe sell off my Bachmann ones.
Who knew?
There you go.
But I'm conscious of taking up your time. Thank you very much for sparing me 10 minutes.
I've enjoyed it.
But pleasure to meet you as always. Big fan. But good to meet you, David.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Richard.